As always, we've been having a ton of fun here on the Lotus SMP. We ended up exploring the trial chambers with Cobb and with Spidey, which I must say was so much fun. I had a total blast doing it, and we ended up streaming the whole thing. You're more than welcome to take a look at the VOD on my third channel. And better yet, we actually ended up being unscathed as well. After running an ominous trial, we all ended up surviving, which is a total win, because now I have tons of gits and gadgets to use in our future builds. And gosh, am I excited for the build that we're going to be making this week. We're going to be building a medieval tavern, but I did want to show you I've done a little bit of work between episodes. And if we hop into Cheaty Cam real quick, you'll see that we have a miniature Dan, and he's actually holding a fishing rod as well. Hopefully he's been having a good day's catch. And over in this area, I definitely do want to be making some sort of tower at some point, except for that is not yet in the cards. I'm back to working full time, so we're going to have to focus on one build at a time. But that's more than okay with me, because I know what happens when you do a little bit of work every single week and see it compound on one another. And so if you're here for that journey, consider leaving a like on the video. But really quickly, if we head on down to our well over here, there's one other thing that I wanted to show you all. We have Drhakonis, and he's going for my goat horn right here. I think it's so funny, and originally I actually had Drhakonis on this pillar right here, but someone ended up coming over to the base and moving him so that he's reaching for the goat horn. It's so creative, and I just love it. However, the date of recording this is August 12th, meaning that it's been exactly 1 week since we've given out the last oat violations. So let's take out our cherry saplings, put our rockets in hand, and get to work for the organization of aesthetic terraforming. We are approaching Cobb's base, and you can see that he has been doing a whole ton of work in this area. This place used to be an entire mountain, and now it's just completely flattened out. And Cobb is online, but he's AFK, meaning that we could mess with him at some point, but our job is for the organization of aesthetic terraforming at the moment. And so we can walk around, but he's actually done a really good job flattening out the entire area. He even happens to have a creeper and a pig in one boat as well. I say that it's better that we don't get too close to these guys. We do happen to have a little bit of a dirt hill right here, and you'll notice that if we, oh, I was so close. I thought that was going to be an oat violation, but it seems like that block fits its purpose. Which rats, I was really hoping to try to get to Cobb this time, but I must say everything, the entire expanse that you can see over here, down to his iron farm and his house area over here, everything seems to be good, except for I take back my words. We have some sort of leaf pile right here, and if we head over to this block, you'll notice that it kind of dips down into the cave, meaning that this is absolutely an oat violation. We're going to consider this a level B violation. An unesthetic bush placement failure to fix by 8/26/2024 will result in a fine from oat. As you can see, we're making a little bit of an upgrade to our oat fines. We have a miniature slip holding a cherry sapling, and it just looks so cute. But we have many more fines to give out, I'm sure, so back to the skies we go. We are officially coming up on Spidey's base, which I must say is kind of cute and quaint, or at least that's all I'll say about it. There clearly must be a massive farm underneath there, because there are so many animal sounds as soon as you walk right here, and I can't tell if he just ended up terraforming, if this is rooted dirt or something like that, or if it's just a normal piece of dirt. I think we'll hold off on it for the moment. Walking around the area, I don't really seem to see anything out of place, so I guess that Spidey gets away scot-free this time, and it's time for us to keep on looking. We are heading over to Drift's base, and I don't really want to give any spoilers. This man is hard at work and is doing incredible things, and better yet, it seems that he's actually been listening to the oat protocols. He's taken down the stone block, and so, of course, we're gonna make him a cutesy little sign. Bravo, you have fixed your oat violation. And Drift, for your hard work, I want you to consider joining the oat team. All oat members get a 20% discount on terracotta. I say let's take a look at Buzzy and Chespi's base. On Buzzy's lighthouse, you'll see that we have a bit of an addition to Cobb's statue right here. I've placed myself holding a lasso and pointing at Cobb just like I'm gonna wrangle him down, which, speaking of Cobb, it looks like he might be in a little bit of trouble at the moment, so we're gonna go and see if he needs any help. He has done an incredible job with this place. I don't want to show any more because I don't want to spoil anything, but man, his place is looking awesome and I don't see any oat violations around. And also, I checked in with Cobb and it seems like he's okay. He even refused my enchanted mending book. That man has got some cash, I'm telling you all. But it's time for us to go and see if there are any more violations around. Now, we have to take a second to appreciate this build here. It is a red rocket from Fallout 4 made by Morg-Org, and it is such an incredible build. His video and cinematic of making this build is impeccable. I highly recommend that you checking it out, and as you can see, the red rocket is really on par with how it looks in Fallout 4. Apparently, we can't come in here because employees only, but I say, why don't we head through the main door right here? We have a wonderful Fallout-themed interior, and as you can see in these chests right here, Morg is selling rockets for diamonds, which kind of makes sense given the name of the shop, don't you think? And over right here, we have the Red Rocket gas station. I think Morg did a wonderful job kind of making it fit into the Fallout universe. And there's really something incredible here with the smoothness that you have with the deep slate texturing right here, and then also with the brightness that you have with the custom trees. He did a really good job, except for there happens to be one problem, and that is this whole area right here. And as Cobb is saying in the chat right there, the terraforming is still pending, but this wouldn't be the organization of aesthetic terraforming if we didn't step in to make things look better. This is a level F violation. A floating build failure to fix by 8/26/24 will result in a fine from OAT, and I do think that it's a good thing that we're giving 2 weeks for everyone to try to fix their violations. Not only does it give everyone more time, but it also allows for me to do a couple of other things besides being detective on the server. So expect some exciting new things coming next week. But for now, I do want to check up on Pug's base. Now here we are at Pug's base, and as you can see, he has not done anything to fix his OAT violation, meaning that it's just about time to up the ante. Well, hopefully, this gives him the message, but ladies and gentlemen, it is almost time for the build, which of course can't happen without any resources. So I really do not like going into the Nether, but as you saw during the last replay mod cinematic, I ended up going into the Nether because we needed to make some smooth basalt, but little did I know that you can actually just make a basalt generator. Cobb just came by and plopped this guy at my base when I was AFK for like 5 minutes, and apparently you just place down the lava like here, and if I was to mine it, then the lava is going to make some more basalt. We have blue ice right here, and just the basalt. I think this is soul sand? Then some glass around it. And man, that would have saved me a whole lot of time. But before we get to building, there is one thing that I do want to show you. We can head inside our stutter house, and you'll notice in this chest right here, we have a song called Teach Me How to Build, which is by Avid MC, who is a wonderful Minecraft creator, and I'm gonna start to play the song. Well, as you can see, this place is looking a whole ton different. The sugarcane farm has been dismantled. The animals have been defeated, which means one thing. It is finally time to get this tavern up in the air. Well, you could say that I have cooked. Standing in front of us, we have Slip's Tavern, which of course I have decorated to every square meter. We have our 2 tall flowers surrounding the entire area, and this time, to switch it up, I ended up using carrots instead of wheat. I think that it's nice to switch up the crop rotation, and this may be my favorite build that I've ever made, although man, was it a difficult build to make. For example, consider the palette of blocks that we used for this build. We have tons of copper and quartz and even end rods, and so it definitely took me a good amount of time to get the resources that we needed for the build. But here we have Slip's Tavern, where we can press the button and we can head inside to a wonderful looking interior. This tavern is vegetarian friendly, although it does happen to serve meat as well. We have end rods for a lighting source right here and tons of paintings all around. And if I'm being honest, these candles right here are supposed to be a brewing stand, but I don't happen to have any blaze rods, so we'll get to switching it at a later date. But I must say, I do love the tavern feel that we have here with the smokers and the blast furnace along with the drip faucet that we have right here. You can see that I ended up using a banner as a washcloth, and honestly it's the perfect little addition to add to the bar. We have even more of a seating area over here, and then we can head up the stairs to another floor over here. This area is supposed to be a large dining table, but in proportion to everything else that we have in the build, I think it's a little bit too large. But for my first shot at real interiors, I think that I did a pretty good job on this build. We can head past the dining room table, and over here we have a little bit of like a crane area. The idea behind this is that this is loading up the inventory that we're gonna need to have in the attic of this build. One thing that I did want to point out is my usage of copper trapdoors amongst copper grates. They kind of let light into the area, and if we step outside you would actually see that light seeps through into the build. But we can head upstairs and we're gonna have to duck our head and we'll head into the attic, where we have tons of storage with all the materials that this tavern is gonna need. As always, I think it's decorated to a T, and I really do think that I cooked on this build. My favorite part definitely has to be the first floor, where we can actually sit on a slab and eat ourselves some food. But it is 9:41 on Friday night, and I hope to get this video out to you by 9:15 EST tomorrow morning, meaning that I have a whole lot of work to do tonight. If you've enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like on it, and if you like my content and you want to see more, consider taking a look at this banger video right here.